Finally, it's back. It's time for another Naked Truth. I know this has been missing for a long time. We know that I am not consistent, but I am trying to be better. So yeah, here it is, Naked Truth. Today's Naked Truth is all about social media. I am like totally, I would say totally addicted to social media. Like even today, this is an amazingly positive thing. I have got a radio show on BBC Radio London, which starts on the 27th of November, which is a Tuesday, 8 till 10 PM. Plug! Push that aside. Guns. Rather than just posting what I need to post, replying to comments, I find myself scrolling through Instagram or going through Twitter feeds or hanging out on Facebook. My phone flashes up at the end of every week and it lets me know what my average screen time has been per week. And at the moment it's averaging like 3 hours and 20 minutes a day. What the f? A lot of the time though, I will say with my phone that I open it and I just leave it open. So I leave it on the side, like, and it doesn't automatically turn off. Okay, so say for example, I know that I want to get up and go to the gym. I might meditate and then I'll be like, oh, just check my feed, and then 20 minutes will have gone past because I'll just be scrolling through everyone else's like stuff, and so I end up wasting a lot of valuable time which I could be investing into way more important things. Also, I notice that I compare myself to people all the time, and that comparing myself actually can be disabling. And it's not that I'm not happy for other people, because I genuinely am and I feel really proud of them, but I also then I look at myself and I'm like, why don't you have that? Or why haven't you succeeded in that way? Or why hasn't that happened for you? Like, what are you doing wrong? And I kind of end up being really hard on myself, and because I'm being hard on myself, that makes me feel like crap, and because I feel like crap, I don't want to do the things I've got to do to elevate myself to the place that I want to be. So it's like this vicious cycle that just keeps going on and 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 on. Earlier on in the year, I did do like 4 weeks without social media. I deleted all the apps off my phone, and it did make a big difference, but I also realised that part of what I do and what I want to do and who I am and who I want to be means that I need to use social media. So it's like this necessary tool, and I think it can be really great, but it can also be addictive, and it can make you feel crap. And so I think you just have to be really aware of how much time you're spending on social media, or I have to be really aware of how much time I'm spending on social media, and also what effect it's having on me when I'm spending that time on social media. Is it a good effect? Is it positive? Is it negative? Say hello to my pussy. She's on Naked Truth. Oh, pretty cat. Social media, I think, can be a blessing and a curse, and it is something that I think we've got to be aware of. So there's the fact that I need to use it, there's the fact that I know I'm spending too much time on there, there's the fact I compare myself to other people, but there's also the comment section. And when I first started presenting, I started on YouTube, I started for Grime Daily, and the comment section was like full of a lot of like sexual comments, a lot of hate-filled comments. I am like the worst person for taking on other people's opinions, and even if like I know the comments of people that I don't even know, I know they're people that don't matter to me, but I still like read those things and they still really hurt. And it's something that I really have to come to terms with, because actually what I find is that between the comparing myself to other people on the gram and taking on board people's negative comments, that I'm not doing the things that I want to do. Like, look at my YouTube channel, how much content have I produced in the last couple of years, and the biggest reasons for that sometimes is that I feel like, oh my god, I'm not doing what everyone else wants me to do. How can I like tick all the boxes, make everybody happy? And I think I've come to realise that's just not possible, and that it's so important to be yourself, because actually when you end up trying to be 10 different people for, you know, all these different things that people want you to be, you end up completely losing yourself, and you don't know who you are anymore, or what you're doing, or why you're doing it, and nothing ends up making sense, which is kind of what happened to me before I went traveling. And then I've come back, and I came back with like this big, had so much like energy and positivity, and I was so excited to get started with things, and then I just kind of lost myself in the real world, and yeah, and I just didn't do the things that I knew that I should be doing, and it's kind of culminated in me going, right, hello kitten, it's culminated in me being like, who am I and what do I want to do? And I've had to do a lot of soul searching, I've had to do a lot of self-development, and in a way it's like I don't want to start putting stuff out there until I know who I am and exactly what I want to do. And I feel like I'm really close to that now. And yeah, I want to make other people feel good, like whether that's through doing interviews that are funny, interviews that are serious, whether it's me sitting butt naked in front of my camera and talking to you. I just want to make people feel better by sharing my experiences. I feel like in society we don't talk about things. It's like, oh my god, no, I feel like shit, I'm depressed, oh my god, I'm anxious, but I'm not going to tell anybody, and that's nuts. So I've started to be way more open with people, even people that I'm working with, etc., about the way that I feel. Like if I'm feeling anxious, I want to tell you I'm feeling anxious, because otherwise you just think I am like so confident and smiley and happy, and really inside I'm feeling like oh my god, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, this is the worst thing, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm having a massive panic inside. And yeah, I think that talking about things and sharing things is vital, and in today's society it's something that is kind of like frowned upon, you shouldn't do it, but actually it's really human to have a community that you share things with, and it's really normal. But actually we've made the normal seem like it's, you know, like taboo, and that's dangerous. I think that's really dangerous. And we look at like suicide rates, especially like suicide rates of men, they've gone through the roof. And I think that that's because as a woman, you know, it's okay for me to show my emotions, even though I felt for a long time it wasn't. Like societally it's okay for me to show my emotions, but as a man you've got to be strong and tough, and you're not supposed to cry, and it's actual because you're an emotional being as well. And by neglecting those emotions, you don't get rid of them, you just push them somewhere, and they're stored somewhere in your body, and they will at some point arise, and they could erupt in anger, they could erupt in a bout of depression, it could be anxiety, panic attacks, anything, and you'll be like, where are these coming from? I don't understand, what's happened? But it's that thing that you haven't dealt with, that you haven't spoken about, that you haven't processed. Social media is like this thing where we present to the world one vision of ourselves that's like this beautiful, clear one vision of ourselves, but actually that's not who we are and what we are, because we're three-dimensional, we're like 360 degrees, there is so much to us. And by only showing one part of us, that can be really dangerous, because it makes everyone else think, well, I'm not normal because I don't just have that one part, I got this part, this part, this part, this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit, this bit. And I think that, yeah, it's important to really show the whole of who we are. That doesn't necessarily happen on social media, and we only see like the glossiest bits of people's lives. That's not real, and that you are real, and that how you feel is real, and that if you need to talk to somebody, you should talk to somebody. Don't neglect yourself, put yourself first. And sometimes social media doesn't allow us to do that. It's that negative mind that comes in, and it's like, you're not as attractive as them, you'll never be as successful as them. This is what my mind does. Like, it says things like that to me, and I'm like, hold on a second, hold on mate, no. So I actually have to actively listen to what my mind is telling me, listen to what I'm believing, listen to what is happening in my mind, and then I'm like, no, 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 I don't want that in my mind, and I don't want that in my head, and I'm gonna change it. Like, I am good enough, I have succeeded in many ways, and to build myself up, like I would build other people up, so why do I knock myself down? I think we've got to become really aware of that, because what happens is a lot of people will be like, I'm not good enough. And then if you might believe that your whole life, like you could have gone 20, 30, 40 years believing you're not good enough. It could be you're not good enough to succeed, you're not good enough for a relationship, you're not good enough for this, you're not good enough for that. But when you actually question that, I'm not good enough, is that true? You're like, well, I don't know, where did that actually come from? You know, so you've got to watch your mind. And I think that social media, it's my unicorn case, can be a real trigger for the mind, and it can really make us think and believe certain things that are definitely not true. So make sure that you're questioning what you're thinking, and that you're keeping an eye on how much time you're spending on social media, but more importantly how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel great and inspired and awesome, and then you like spend half an hour on social media, and then you go and create and you do, and you're like, yeah, this is great, boom, 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 that's good. But if, like for me, it pushes you down and it makes you feel like what you're trying to do is insignificant and you don't know where to start, then I would say try and just step back a little bit from that, because you need to be able to have the energy to create. If you do need to talk find someone to talk to, go to your doctor, tell them you need therapy, pay a therapist, go and speak to a friend, go and speak to a family member, because you know what? We're all human. We've all had the same thoughts and the same feelings. Even if you don't want to admit it, I know that at some point you've probably felt exactly the same things that I have, because that's just how it works. But when we keep isolated in our own little bubbles, believing that we're the only ones that feel that way and no one is going to understand us, so we never speak out, we're all going to continue like these isolated little bubbles everywhere without that united thing that makes us human. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please make sure you like, share it and subscribe to the channel. Much more content will be coming on the channel very soon. If you've got something that you'd like me to cover on Naked Truth or something you'd like me to talk about, please drop a comment in the box below. I will be back with more videos. I'm excited to be back. I have missed you. Boom!